desperately need. He has to deliver with absolute urgency to avoid a revolution. And I don't use those words lightly. But we have come from
Oh, it's not my suit. Good afternoon. We're just waiting a few more minutes. Entrepreneurs, please give us another, I think about 9 minutes. And in a meanwhile, introduce yourself and tell us which province you are at and what will you like us to actually cover if you are not part of the people that voted for what we're going to cover today. Yeah, great. Great to see familiar faces. Hello, hello.
Hello, my name is Dumi. I'm not sure if everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Hello?
Go ahead, we can hear you. Hello.
Okay, nice. So I'm Dumi. I'm not sure what you said the others they vote to something that you're gonna cover today. So I'm not sure because I'm just joined the group now. So I'm Dumi Bata from KZN, St. Lucia, based tourism sector. I'm a tour operator. We're doing tours, so that's what we're specializing with.
Great. What are the pressing issues that you are facing in your business right now?
Okay, so I think some of the issues that we've covered on the program, although some I haven't applied them yet. So was about costing, which is pricing. So like in St. Lucia, special on tours, we're more like having a standard price where everyone is charging that kind of a price. So that's another thing, because if you're a tour operator, you're doing the same activity, you need to fall into that price where it's others is charging. Unfortunately, I'm told to use this word. The industry that I'm in, it's more like dominated with white people, of which those people have got everything in terms of marketing. So that was another thing that I was say that was one of the major things that I was lacking in, which is a marketing strategy. So as from now, I've been learning a lot since I've joined the NF program. So I'm trying to apply although something that I've learned so far. So I would say that my marketing, yeah, I still need to put more because that's another thing that I'm lacking with at the moment. So I know that the marketing need money as well, or also the strategy. Maybe the strategy I was using was not working for me nicely. So I need to apply all those things that I've learned.
Okay, I'm gonna put the stuff, your notes through. For you to do the marketing, you don't need money.
Yes.
So let's take that off the table. And then we'll unpack that during the session. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Who else? Who else didn't actually vote, but they saw the messages from Zagane and they decided to join? Okay, we are almost there. Please introduce yourself on the chat box if you can't talk. So we will start shortly. Okay, no one is brave enough. Okay. Sis Paula, how are you?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. Good to see you.
Yes. I'm still here. I'm still around. I'm not going anywhere.
3 years.
Yes, yes. But now the Salam Mushi, what you do, I'm not sure what's up.
Trying to set this up. Okay, are we ready? Guys, please remember to mute yourself. Okay. I see there's few people introducing themselves. Zodwa Mabaso from Mtomtundu Construction Company. Where is that? It sounds like it's in KZN. And then Welile from Sebelweni Business, Sebelweni Skills Academy. We train people how to manufacture cleaning detergents. Great. Welile, welcome. And then we have Ubonga from Afrenias. Business consulting. We do business plan, proposal, profiles, and training among other things. Okay. From Babeja, Bongam Nwana. Welcome. Looking at introductions for those that they have. Okay. Let's start. Okay, so you voted for using AI in your business, and you also voted for business strategies. Those were, out of all the groups, those were the biggest items that you voted for. And yeah, but when I was creating the content, it was very clear that just AI alone was just a whole 2 hours. So apologies if it's not working out. Oh, yes, yeah. I could see where you were born. That is Zodwa Mabasa. No, I could see where you were born. I saw how your names and stuff worked out. Great. Okay, so some of the things that we're gonna deal with here, we'll also talk to the strategy, but I want us to have a separate session for the strategy so that we pay attention to it. So today we're just gonna cover AI because even covering that, it was just too much. So please bear with me just a second. This laptop is not setting up nicely. Let me just set it in. Okay. Ooh, oh Lord, I'm making more mess here. Please give me a second. Okay, I see there's few more people introducing themselves. Please keep on introducing yourself, but also focus on say, what is the biggest headache did you have or do you have this week? This is a platform where we talk about challenges and what are the things that we are struggling with. So we cover that and technical questions or Q&A. So please don't be shy. We believe that if we share our challenges, then people will not repeat the same mistakes. And then as entrepreneurs, so bear with me. Guys, just remember to mute yourself when you join the group. I think I'm set up better now. Okay, great, but there's a feeder. Oh, okay. Bear with me. I'm still trying to get a more stable network also. Great. Okay, so this is for today. Today is the 8th. I don't know why did I put 22 there. Today is the 8th. The next session we're gonna have is on the 22nd. So when I'm loading the slide, I will need to change that. Okay, just a little bit of welcome and mini introduction of who I am and who we are. We are JD Consulting. This is a network session that we're planning to have for the rest of the year, where we are talking about the things that we need to learn to grow, but also the plan on how we're gonna scale and use technology and use different tools to actually make us run better. My background is accounting and also just finance. I'm a founder of GAD Consulting and I'm a non-executive director, own several entities, and I'm a lead consultant within GAD. We started about 13 years ago. Okay, we've won some little bit of awards, so have a look at that. And just for information, some of the key clients we've had over the years and some that are still our clients to date. This is some of them. And I said, we had the first session and then the second session we ran the voting poll for entrepreneurs to tell us what is it that they would like to hear. And today we're covering some of those matters. And then on the 22nd, we're gonna cover, but this is a year calendar, block the time. We're always gonna meet at the same time. But just be careful about that 6:30. We are likely more to run until 7. Why? Because there's just so much to cover, but it also depends on the questions you have for us. I feel like I'm so sweaty. Okay, so please note and put it on your diary. Why do we do what we do? We believe we can contribute by discussing these income generating or opportunities. We believe that is going to deal with the poverty that we have in our country. I generally run training programs and I say to people, you are broke. And people will laugh in class, but it's not a laughable matter being broke. And I also believe that we can contribute to economic growth through small business. So if we are actually able, one, to sustain our own jobs, because we have created our own jobs, we can also then employ others to actually work for us, which will then create jobs. But we also hear about fostering innovation and local business ideas, and we will share quite a lot. We're going to share about how to use AI, and I will show live examples on my business on how I use AI so that you can also use it to improve your productivity and increase your output. But in addition to that, it's also about sharing information between what we have done as researchers, but also what are the things that we have come across so that you are aware and you know those things. In some of the classes that you guys have, we have met with, especially within the NAF, you generally ask this information. So I am not now going to post it to each individual group. Instead, what I will do is I will just link up all these links for you to download either the templates or even also the information that you are looking for. We often view that this is actually gonna provide equal opportunities in terms of entrepreneurship. The technology is allowing us to reach places that we will have reached. We are probably, someone is in Soweto, another person maybe in Mpumalanga, another person is somewhere when Western Cape, Eastern Cape. That the technology allows us to actually have unlimited reach. but also because we are recording this information, then you can have a look at it at a later stage if maybe you've missed the sessions. And then the last one, I really appreciate this one. I would have never done the work with NEF if it was not for collaboration, that I decided to collaborate with MinFresh as GAD so that we can be able to actually achieve more. And I think for the past, 6-7 years, I probably have made more than 1.3, 1.4 million just on the training programs that we've ran. Yeah, I need to tally that up. I think it's actually more than that, because just for this course is about 450, almost 500,000. So there is just so much we can do together. And I'm also just going to talk about that, especially because sometimes we believe as poor people who come from poor background that we actually don't have much to share, or we do not have much to actually collaborate with others. I'm going to share some of those ideas here. So this is the reason why GAD does what we do. So all of this is aligned basically to sustainable goals. I'm sure you have heard about SDGs. So I said to you, I think one of the things that I really always talk about, literally before I even train, when I'm in a training class or when we're in session, I always talk about a mindset. And I think because I share this because I think the moment my mindset started to change, I started seeing my bank account changing. So I want to deal with this top 15 challenges that we generally will have, especially people who come from a poor background, where you literally are starting from zero or even from negative. So can you please assist me to mute everyone who has joined without muting? Thank you. And you can also, those that are on the video, you can switch off your video so that the recording is stronger, please. I'm gonna actually just try to stop your videos, except mine, of course, because we're also on YouTube. Okay, so number one is the scarcity mentality. So what is a scarcity mentality? Is when you believe that there isn't enough to go around. You somehow fear that there's just not enough. We're focusing on saying there's a lack, there's a lack. And how do we see that in most times? We see it when someone is dishing a plate. Ukhona fish, khona and iplate alisavaleki, alisabambeki, awukwazi nokuthi uzokhaphi, because there's just the person's mentality in mind is thinking that there's not going to be enough food. And we see this even in other areas where when there is actually something that is for free, people even taking it and putting it in their bag. Again, this is an indication of a scarcity mentality. What we need to understand is there is more than enough in this world for us to be able to eat. Can you please help me? Please help me. After people unmute. We're gonna need to remove others because I can't mute them either. So please, can you manage that?
Okay.
We can't change. Then continue. Sagane, we cannot hear you. Type whatever that you were saying. We cannot hear you. Okay. And then number two is actually being a victim. Because you feel powerless in other circumstances and your background is giving you an indication that everything is based on fate, and you constantly are pointing a finger at everyone else except yourself being responsible for your own life, then you blame. And we hear that even entrepreneurs saying, "I, the government, this, or white monopolists, or this." Yes, those things are actually factors, but they are not 100% attributing to whether you have succeed, or whether you're going to succeed or not succeed. So you need to understand that the moment you feel that you are a victim or you are powerless, or the circumstances that you are in are because of external factors, you give your power away to that thing or to that person. Or you believe that it's just pure luck or fate that is actually gonna make you to either succeed or not succeed. Fear of failure, you avoiding risk and challenges because you have a fear and a belief that, you know what, this is gonna be too hard. You're gonna fail. Let me just say this: there is no one in the world who has ever been successful who has never failed. Failure is a contributor to the success. You get successful once, you fail 9 times. That's a minimum. You're gonna need to just maybe work out in your head. So try 9 times, and then you get. But in the process, if you are learning and you are consistently working on yourself, you will pick up that actually, even just as I'm learning, as you are building up, as you are working through, and you are learning, you're failing, and then you use the failure to actually change things. By the time you get to the 6th time, 9th time, you get better at failing. You're failing at a different level now. And you also start seeing a minor success. You are not there yet, but you start seeing the results or the mini successes. So you shouldn't fear failure, and also you shouldn't care about what anyone thinks of you. Because I think, again, we fear failure because we're afraid that people are going to laugh at me. What are they going to say? What is their opinion? You should care less about anyone's opinion of you. And then the next one is the lack of education as a barrier. You see that as a barrier. Of course, not everyone has gone to formal education. Even those that have gone to formal education, the education that they have taken, guys, is actually not enough at this day and age with the technology. What I learned 10, 15 years ago, it's no longer relevant now. The only thing it does is just give me a foundation. But everything that I am up to now can only lead me to this point. But if I want to grow beyond the point that I'm at now, I'm going to need to actually do more education. And I can list thousands, if not hundreds and hundreds, thousands of people that have actually succeeded without a formal education. You don't need a degree to succeed. You don't need to actually even matric. But what you need to understand, that education is a state of mind. Education is about a continuous improvement on yourself, and that is education. This 6th one is really the one which usually also attributed to how we are taught, especially as Christians, when it comes to money. There is a saying that money is evil. Money is the source of all evils. No, money is not evil. Money reveals the person. Money you cannot associate money with negativity, whereas every day and every time you're waking up, you're worried about it, because then you're not going to pursue it. You're going to also self-sabotage yourself. Yes, money is also associated with a lot of bad qualities, greed, corruption, in pursuit of financial success, and just morally wrong, especially when you associate it with Christianity. But I also think even in other religions, they actually somehow will perceive it as a bad thing. No, money is actually a reward for your work. And it's a contribution that you are making to the society. It's an exchange of problem solved. And that is how you should view the money. So the more contribution you make in the society, the more money you will make. And it's really just a thank you. So when you have lesser money, it's not about that you are not greedy. It's not that you need to be corrupt to have money, or you need to actually have immoral, unethical behaviors, but it just means that you are not contributing at the right place with the right value in the right market. And please, guys, as I'm going through, please share your experience. When we are actually doing questions, I will go through those. And also tell me which one is yours, which one applies to you. Because sometimes as we're building ourselves, these are the things. And I think for me, the biggest one out of this list was a fear of failure. I've been doing things at the very very safety kind of thing, and I've been consistently just doing just enough, because I'm afraid I'm gonna fail. I'm afraid that if I fail, how am I gonna look like? You know, I mean, at some point I was even afraid to speak in some recording sessions that I was supposed to actually do, because I was worried that when I'm speaking, a Zulu word will come in my head instead of an English word, because I didn't get taught. My English is self-taught. So all those things are really about insecurities that we build up sometimes, because sometimes it's a society, but sometimes it's just how we feel about a lack of. And these days, I don't care, because I don't care about what is anyone's opinion of me. And I do believe that the value that I bring into the society is beyond my adequacy of my English language. And if there's a Zulu word that comes, I think I'm old, that maybe that's why I will say the Zulu word, even if I'm in a boardroom or where I am. I will say the word of Zulu, which is coming in my head, because as a Zulu person, or as taught English, I translate first from my mind to generate whatever ideas, but those need to be translated to English. So therefore, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think this to me came very clear when I was in the United Nations. I was sitting behind the South African flag, and I was like, and we had other countries that were actually of the stuff that we're talking about. And France, one of the guys from France, he could speak English, but he had his headphone for translation. And then he tried to speak in English, and then he mixed up the words. And then because he's using translation, and then he heard from the translator that he was messing up the words. And I realized while I was sitting there, I mean, I literally had to get this when I was in New York, that when you're not speaking from your own language, based on your own thoughts, you always gonna mess up the words. And that is okay. It does not mean you are less intelligent. It doesn't mean that your inadequate English speaking is equating to your intelligence. And I think growing up and not having gone to multiracial school, I consistently felt I was being judged based on how I was speaking and whether I'm adequate or not adequate. This channel that I have been working on now for YouTube should have been started literally in 2015, but I didn't because I was afraid that I was not going to be adequate enough, or I'm not going to speak the language maybe the way people expect. And, you know, yeah. So I'm sharing this because I also know I have suffered from this myself. So, but there is other 10 more that I want to go through, and I'm consistently going to be working because I honestly believe that if we deal with these issues, we then can be really focused on what really matters when we have dealt with these issues, which is our poverty mindset. And I think the other one is really about having a fixed mindset. And I think some of you, the fact that you have attended today, I will say you don't have that, but you might have it in a different way, because fixed mindset is also having a belief that your abilities are limited, your intelligence is limited. And those are the traits of a fixed mindset. And you need to make a commitment of personal growth and professional growth and set goals and consistently be pursuing that and keep yourself accountable so that you can build yourself up to have a mindset growth that always expand and expand. The other one also is a short-term thinking, where the immediate needs are always seem as though are the focus instead of planning. I mean, I've had people, when I'm talking about people having a budget, and someone says, you know what, Precious, I can't even begin to do a budget. I can't even pay for 1, 2, 3 for me right now. And that's a poverty mindset there. You have to think and plan for the things you do not have now that you are working towards, especially when it comes to money, because the money that is not planned goes to things that are not important. When you're planning, you're telling the universe, you know what, I'm ready for this. And when that thing happens, the money will easily allocate it. That is why other people also will accumulate money, but they will immediately also lose it because they have not done a planning. They were waiting to have the money first and then do the planning. It's the other way around. The planning comes first and then you work out the strategies and the immediate needs. Resistance to change. I mean, as I said, I run these training programs and I talk about ideas and things because education, it is about sharing ideas. And consistently, I think in a room, I will get about 4 to 5 people of about maybe 30 to 25 people. Just somehow not understanding that the way they actually see things as in terms of perception is really about change. So, and for them to be stuck in the corner, but also resist to change when you throw in new ideas, when you say, think about this. So, and I think it's also because sometimes people they have the saying that, oh no, I've done that. And sometimes you might feel that way, but I would like you to just observe yourself and think about it. Just be open to new ideas. How many new ideas? And collect the new ideas every day. My role is that when I'm waking up in the morning, I need to come up with a new idea and I will need to execute that idea on the day. That's just one idea. So maybe consider also having that. And I also believe another challenge with people who have a poverty mindset is jealousy and resentment. And you see that when people say certain things, they will say things like "Abantaba poor" or "Abantaba rich." They are like this and this, or you almost conclude or make a general statement. At one time, I attended a course by T. Harv Hacker. I will type his name on here and I will also update the slide to just give you a link. One of the things that he taught us in his program, which was called Millionaire Mind, he taught us that when you see someone who has the things that you want, say, bless you, my brother, or bless you, my sister, for demonstrating that I can do this. And also go to them if you can and say, I thank you. You for actually demonstrating. I love your car. And I do get that though when I'm traveling and from people like in a garage attendants who will say that. But I also feel we need to do that more to appreciate people that are demonstrating the success that we are looking for, instead of having some sort of resentment or some sort of a jealousy. Let's use that as a motivation. And I think sometimes it's almost like there is no competition about success. We all have a platform to be successful, but at our own pace, because we also learn at our own pace. So therefore, we cannot expect that our success will be the same as somebody else's success. So it is important to understand that we don't grow the same time. We always grow at different levels. Now, the entitlement mentality. People expecting success without putting an effort. And that, and I hear this, and okay, it's the government. They said they're gonna give us this, but they are not giving us this. I applied to this place and this place and this place. As yes, you are entitled by the legislation for them to help you. But remember, you chose to be an entrepreneur. You're supposed to be self-reliant. So I want you to start taking 100% responsibility for your success. And then you're not going to find yourself that if they reject you, you move on. Just have that mindset. And I know, especially people will bring apartheid and all that stuff. Guys, that is just not serving us in any way. I've spoken about belief in luck. There's no such thing. You gotta need to work hard and persevere and consistently work hard. Consistent. I'm gonna cover consistent in another session. Actually, I will make sure it's the whole session where we're just talking about how to be consistent and what are the things, what are the loopholes to make sure that we're consistent, because sometimes we actually fail in doing things because we're not consistent. And then lack of goals. I think it's lack of goals and systems. So we lack a specific goal, but a system that's going to make sure that we achieve that goal. And this second one, the last one about negative self-talk, that is so important, because it's almost like as you are listening to me, you are talking back to me and saying, oh, that doesn't work. Oh, that doesn't work. And that chitty-chatting of contra words, or I've experienced this, this is my experience. Your life is pure just a perception, and it's a one perception of life. There's millions of other perceptions. Try these other millions of other perceptions and try to also model the people that have actually demonstrated the success that you are looking for. And also start monitoring your thoughts. I did also Mind Power training program, and that helped me a lot to start monitoring myself. When I've spoken about something that is negative, I had a rubber, I would put it the other side. Then I started counting, it's more than 20 times I'm thinking negative stuff, so you gotta need to wire your mind, but start monitoring yourself so that you can start counting. I think Oprah also did a certain exercise like that. The last two, you see money as a source of stress, and then you constantly are stressed about money, rather seeing the money as an empowerment tool. And this last one, which is dependence on others, it's really that I've already mentioned that, but I think some of it would depend on some government, some official. I usually say to entrepreneurs, you can never depend on anyone whom their salary comes every month, because they don't know our struggles as entrepreneurs. So I want us as entrepreneurs, if we can work on these 15 challenges of mindset, and as I have shared with you, there is some residual of it within me, and I'm still working on, but we're all work in progress. I would like to highlight these for you to see which areas out of these 15 that you think the reason why your financial freedom has not come, the reason why your financial success has not manifested is because you're still stuck in your mindset, in this poverty mindset. And again, this is my view. Some of it may not. Again, it's my perception of what I've experienced. And I'm sharing this because I come from a poor background, but I've managed to pull myself up. And these are the tools that I'm sharing with you so that we can all pull ourselves out of poverty. And I'm going to stop on this first session and have a look at comments. And maybe if there's someone who wants to share which ones are they picking for themselves, you can tap on the chat box, but also you can just raise your hand and then we can then maybe chit chat about that. Please mute yourself. All those that join a little bit later, please mute yourself so that we can move on. So just to catch up on 2 weeks back, we shared 100 bucket ideas. And bucket ideas, guys, is basically going to give you a goal. We also had a blank template to complete yours. We also shared a personal budget, which had 12 months tabs, plus also the annual summary. We also launched a store, a digital store on Gumroad, and we are running the Essential Finance Handbook, the second edition for one, and this comes with as a startup bundle. And we also have the bookkeeping Excel spreadsheet, which has 12 tabs and annual summary with some graph, especially for those guys, some of you that do not have an accounting software. Please have a look at that template if it can't help you to record the money coming in and money going out so that you can have your financial statements. We also included the business administration guide, which is a version 2 with a checklist that covers HR, finance, ICT, legal and compliance, and office administration. We also had the Epic Plan digital planner and journal. Please have a look at that. We will share the link also below on the YouTube video. And those who were here last week, you will know about this. Okay. Please mute yourself, guys. As soon as you join, please mute yourself. And see where your hand is up.
Hi, Ms. Precious. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much for this session. I'm one of the alumni of the NEF program. I was with you last year and I continued being in the group. And I think it's one of the best decisions that I've made so far. I want to thank you for always encouraging us and having these continuous sessions because they help us. They're one of the greatest building blocks for our businesses and in us growing. In these 15, I forgot the word, but there's literally two that, yeah, there's literally two that stuck out to me like a thorn. One is the scarcity mindset. That has been one of the major challenges for me in growing my business, because now what I do is tend to hand from lip live from hand to mouth, which is I can't seem to see beyond just the one project to the next project to the next project, which is stifling my growth. So it's one of the things that I'm seriously going to work on, especially this year in particular, so that I could really grow my business and elevate it the way that I know that I can. So I'm glad that you touched upon it, and to know that I'm not the only one, in actual fact, that is struggling with it, and that it is real. And it is something that I can work on. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Andisiwe. I think what I love most about you is you're consistent. You keep on pushing. You keep on waking up and doing it. And I think Sis Paula, there is so many of you that you keep on working on it. I think that is what we have to realize as entrepreneurs, that the challenges that we face in our businesses, the reason why they're bigger than us is because we need to be bigger than the problems. And the only way we can be bigger than the problems that we're trying to actually address or deal with is for us to learn and unlearn. Because sometimes the cup is full, but it's full of garbage. So
Yeah.
we need to unlearn. I will share more some tool. I've made a note that maybe in another session, I will also include tools that we can use on those 15 challenges. Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I just
Hi.
add something, if possible?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. What I can say based on time is that I think I've met Precious when I think it was 2016, if I'm not wrong. I attended one of the NEF and my life started to transform from that time, and I've been following her up to today. So what I can share with the in other entrepreneurs here is the mindset of saying we are small businesses and we don't have money. I think we need to transform our mind to say, it doesn't matter how much I'm making daily or weekly or monthly. We need to come up with the strategy of at least invest the 10% of what you are generating, irrespective of your expenses. Because at a later stage, that money is going to help you grow the business. That's what I wanted to share, because I had this many years back. I did not develop it. Today, if I did what I had then, I would be on a different platform. I just wanted to share this so that you don't take 40 years in the wilderness to generate money, but some tips and some strategies that are being shared here, sometimes we can view them as impossible. How can I invest 10%? I need to use that money for A, B, C, D, E. But set aside that money. Next time you'll need it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sis Paul, I want to say this again. I think I've shared this even in our groups on the NEF. I think I shared it with a Nelspred group last week, or a KZN, I don't know. Sometimes I don't even know which room I'm at. Anyway, I said, one of the things that we have actually failed to recognize, especially as Black people, we have moved away from who we are. Mina, I'm a rural girl. When I was growing up, the first harvest went to Umsamo. And I don't know what the word for Umsamo is. But the whatever that with the first crop, the fresh new crops used to be taken away and be stored nicely and neat, and it will never be touched. And that is used to actually plan for the next season. So you shouldn't say that I'm gonna pay everyone else and then the 10% that is left, then I save for the rainy dead or whatever case, or paying yourself, you should start taking the 10 first, then you pay others. That is how you should actually think about it. So, and if you have that mindset and you are doing things that way, I promise you, you will start
Celebration guide.
You'll start seeing the difference where you actually start, you get 100 Rand, you take that 100 Rand, you say, I'm gonna take a 10 Rand from that 100 Rand, and that is, and T. Harv Eker calls it you paying yourself. So in my case, it's an investment. It's a long-term, it's my long-term investment. So, and you build it up, and over time, you start increasing to be 15%, 40%. But just remember, if you earn 100 Rand and you spend 120, you are actually a slave. Okay. So the tools that we still need to load that we owe you is a time management toolkit, it's reflection, it's a self-care toolkit. I want to do that, especially for one of my clients in Cape Town, Fatima. I don't know if she's here today. I want to load that for her. She was saying she has not been taking. Fatima, are you here? Okay, she's not. And the other program that we are launching this year is a fund-ready agriculture, but we're gonna focus on cattle farming. And then the last one, the course that we're gonna have is business administration course. And we're gonna run a generic one and then a cattle farming one. So maybe please keep yourself, join the WhatsApp group, because sometimes it's difficult because there's too many WhatsApp groups within the NEF. Join my WhatsApp group so that when we are actually running these programs, we will still post on the NEF programs, but it's difficult for us to manage that. So join it, and then Tsagan is gonna send you guys on the chat box our WhatsApp group for you to join. So that we can then run, we're gonna run this business administration, and I can't wait. The material is done and everything is done, so yeah. So that stuff that still need to be loaded, that's still upcoming. I think we also have a construction one in. As I said, today we're gonna deal with the AI because I couldn't fit the AI and business strategies, but some of the stuff that we're dealing with under AI, it's actually a business strategy. So yeah, I said to you guys at the beginning of our first session that 2024 is our year. We're taking control of our lives. We're not letting things just happen to us. And for me, guys, I am not playing this year. I am not playing. This is it. Anyway, so what does the tech space do for us? It's actually a new industry that has opened up so many opportunities. And it's AI, it's smart cities, it's fintech, insurtech, agri-tech, food tech, IoT, blockchain, addictive and advanced manufacturing, it's clean tech, it's edtech. What we're doing, by the way, today, running this training program, both on Zoom plus on YouTube, it's actually what is edutech. So yeah, and then biotech, big data, analytics, information security, connectivity, e-commerce, and others. So these are new industries, entrepreneurs within the tech space that you can actually do what? Start, get in, because those are the new opportunities. So let's dive a little bit more. What is this new tech industry? So AI is basically the things that are done by the machines that they have learned like us as humans. That's what AI is basically a machine doing the thing that we can do and do think like it's almost like what we when we talk about AI, we are trying to replicate ourselves as human beings. That's what is happening. But it's actually gonna change so many industries, from health to finance. We've seen such a huge uptake in this space. Now, the second one is called smart cities. So smart cities is really about where the integration of technology is just seamless. I mean, I see technology, in terms of smart cities being of something like the future, but it's already happening right now. For example, when you're using a Google map, it tells you that there's traffic and here is the alternate, even ways. Here's an alternative route for you to reach. But now this is going to be at the bigger scale. It's going to be so big. It's going to be to a point that maybe we are at the bus station. Something reads and say, oh, there's more people that are actually waiting. And then the bus gets sent from the depot to actually then come and pick you guys up or in a station. Smart cities, it's also about the planning. It's also about energy management. So it connects the transportation, the energy. It's about optimizing the resources that are there. Smart cities is just so many things. It's about utilizing the resources, integrating the resources also. And I've seen some of it when I was in Singapore. And I think, there are countries already that are showing that smart cities can actually happen. So I don't know about other countries. I think London, I've seen some aspects of it. So yeah, that is a smart cities. And then fintech or insurtech is really about not your typical banking. I mean, we saw in the last 3-4 years how many people got retrenched. It was Standard Bank, it was Nedbank. Absa did retrench, but not as much. So why? Because it was so disruptive that the systems and processes were now being automated. And the service is now faster and quicker. You will now have chat robots. People like myself who used to have a private banker, you still have them, but now it's really boutique. When I'm contacting them, it directs me to the robot so that when I'm now speaking to a human being, the generic questions are answered. So it's really also about making sure that the service is accessible. And that is one thing that I think fintech can actually do. These days, you don't even need to have a bank account. You can still though use you can use your phone to transfer money. So there's just so much which didn't exist 3-4 years ago. So there is just so much, paperless and agri-tech and food tech. I think this is it for us. It's how we grow the crops, how we raise the livestock, how we distribute the food, and all of that. That is basically the agri-tech and food tech. There was one of my clients who was talking about using, instead of go and fetch the soil, use some sort of, I wouldn't say it is, it's a robot. You can also use the robot though to actually do certain things, but they were using drones to actually collect the data of the type of soil it is for them then to work out, instead of them getting the soil and getting tested. So those are the things that we're gonna start seeing. Right now there's a peanut butter issue. Using tech, you'll have 100% checks of things like that. So there is just so much. So it's going to have a huge impact on food production, but we're also going to start knowing where that food comes from. And that is how the lots of data that needs to be collected. And we're also going to start using this to make sure that food is available in certain areas because of the value chain and so on. So that is what we are foreseeing for agri-tech and food tech and stuff. But again, guys, the words that are used here, just put them if you are in those industries and research more so that you can see the opportunities that are, there's so much. There's literal so much opportunities. Internet of Things. Wow, I don't. So Internet of Things is to just for us to understand that everything is interconnected. So for example, my phone, when I go to my car, it automatically, my car can talk to my phone. And then now I don't need to have a headphone or pick up my phone because it's got a Bluetooth. When I enter in a hotel that has a Bluetooth and stuff, even the remotes are gonna then be connected to my phone. And now we're no longer going to need to have a remote on its own. I can use my phone to actually open another gadget, like a TV screen or a TV or another device. So Internet of Things is really about the everyday objects being interconnected and communicating with each other. And I'm saying that is already happening now. I mean, some of you no longer have a normal phone. You no longer have a normal phone. Instead, what you have is actually your wearable technology. You see those people who will have a phone which they talk to it. I mean, those things are the things that we saw them like, what, 10, 15 years ago as creepy, yeah? It's not creepy anymore. Because, you know, I don't need to have a phone like this. I can have a wearable technology. There is quite a lot of things also within the smart homes in terms of security and stuff. Like in my house, we can open the gate using our phone. We can also sense, see a video at our home using the phone in terms of security. So in terms of smart homes, I mean, this is also even a self-driven cars. I mean, that is Internet of Things. Okay. So guys, I'm explaining quite and taking too long to explain, but yeah. Number 7 is about the living traditional manufacturing. And also, okay, blockchain. Sorry, I've skipped blockchain. So blockchain is really about centralizing transactions, which can be contracts, which are in a secure and transparent manner. And blockchain brought us, guys, Bitcoin. I was sharing this in, I think, in Devon on Tuesday, saying that, can you imagine if you looked at technology or anything that's new as a new opportunity? How many of you will be rich right now, like in Bitcoin? And because we were so slow in moving to new things, then people made serious mind with Bitcoin. So yeah, that's one of the things. So blockchain does not necessarily mean it's just translation of money, but it also can be contracts. Okay, then manufacturing, this is really about 3D printing. We have seen quite more inefficiencies also on that. Customizing of manufacturing, we've seen quite a bit of that. There are people on LinkedIn that are consistently showing quite a lot of technology. So if you're on LinkedIn, I'm gonna try to start curating a list of people that have seen a really good advanced manufacturing. And I think as South Africans, we are not there yet, but I'm of a view we need to be there for us to then also compete with China. Clean tech, really clean tech is about saving the planet, but at the same time, you're making money. For example, you could actually have a green business. This is also can be even a circular economy. So where you are taking something that has already been used and you are then converting to be of a use. For example, you can recycle phones, you can recycle laptops, you can also recycle paper, plastic. So it's really about clean tech, where you are taking even sustainable energy solutions, like maybe converting municipality waste to be energy. There's so many examples, guys, but yeah. So we've spoken about EdTech, where it's really about education meets technology. And I said, today what we're doing, it is tech, it is EdTech. And then biotech is really... Please. Okay. And it's so difficult for me to see when they are coming in. Okay, so biotech is about really embracing the power of biology and technology combined together. And we see this in the health industry. Guys, do you know now that we now know and understand through science that as much as human beings, we have a DNA, but our DNA also determine what type of medication that will work for me. We're no longer going to be generic. We are seeing a huge difference in that for people who have maybe unique or different diseases that are not curable. And now they can go and be analyzed and then be assisted. We also are seeing that even within agriculture. Yeah, I mean, this is so big, guys. This is just, the biotech is just such a big thing, especially for diseases that have been with us, on how come we can't find the cure for this and that, and why that person doesn't actually get better when another one does get better. It's just going to be so important to actually build ourselves into that industry and come up with solutions that are now, it's almost like you are customizing now the solutions to the individual person or a DNA. Okay, big data is really already happening, and analytics and stuff like that. Big data, what it does, it gives you an insight. It actually also helps you to make an informed decision. So a big data for us as GAD is really when we are looking at the number of views we had versus the number of people that sign up versus the people that bought. So big data does not necessarily mean it has to be from some system. You can create it from your own business. And so that it makes you an insight, it gives you an insight, because then we know the number of people sign up leading to the number of people that have bought, then we can work it back, we can re-engineer it backwards to achieve a specific goal. So it's really about, you need to feel comfortable with the numbers, but also understand that the numbers are actually telling you a story. Now, interpret that story in decision-making. Information security, I mean, I spoke partly about this, on how things are interconnected, but this one also is mainly talking about cyber threats and protecting of sensitive data, and so on. So we're already seeing that playing out within the digital space. I mean, hackers these days, oh guys, so this is the area which I think the real crimes, I mean, of physical crimes are going to reduce because the security is going to increase. But the more people getting to use the internet, there's going to be more crimes that are cyber-based. So, which then means we need to put more emphasis on creating tools and systems for what? For information security. Connectivity. This is currently quite a barrier to entry to most people because it's so expensive. But connectivity is also about a big bone of digital world because it enables us to have this collaboration, communication, but we have seen it as being a big challenge, especially in South Africa, where the data is expensive, the network is not strong, even on areas where you're supposed to have a strong connectivity. I stay in Fourways. I'm sure you've heard about William Nicol, but there's area around my house where we can't connect. So those are the things that we still need to deal with, the infrastructure. But also keep in mind, there are programs, I think the US aid provides some and partner with private sector. So when you're coming up with a solution in some of these tech industries, there is still a lot of funding that is made available by not just South Africa, but also countries outside. So consider also when you're coming up with solutions, if there isn't a government that is funding that initiative. E-commerce, we've seen quite a bit of this. I mean, look at Take a Lot, look at the Gumtree, look at few entries, I mean, that have come in for e-commerce. I was sharing with you guys Gumroad, which you don't even need to pay. You just put your product, you pay based on what you have sold. So before, I used to pay for Shopify. Monthly fees, whether I've sold anything or haven't. So there's so much. It allows you to actually have a better experience online shopping. And all of us, we need to constantly be asking ourselves, do I really need a store when I cannot afford a deposit? Yet 3 months, I cannot have the hard. So move to internet first while we are proving a concept, and then later move to a brick and mortar store. Okay, I want to stop here for now. I've been talking quite a bit, so that we are on, I think, on our last 4, 5. I think maybe about another 20 slides. So yeah, I think another 20 slides. But we're in the middle of our session. Let me just take some comments on which ideas are popping up in your mind as we're talking about this. And please, let's talk. Guys, I see you are writing quite a bit on the chat box. Okay. Sagane, would you please help me to actually read them if your audio is better now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. But on my side, I'm mostly seeing the introductions.
Hi, guys. Hey, guys, you can only do the hello and the introduction in the first 5 minutes. After that, you have to engage. We can't have the introductions throughout. Sagane, there's someone behind you.
Sorry, it's the little ones. I just moved from them.
Okay. Okay, so Zagane, let me then move. If there isn't anything that anyone wants to talk about on what we've discussed so far, let me then move to the rest of the content for today. Entrepreneurs, earlier I said really what AI is, it is really about what a machine can do to actually, it's what the machine can do to, I don't know how to say this. It is a computer system. AI is a computer system that is basically simulating a human. We basically have got robots that are simulating or that are trying to behave like human beings, to perform certain tasks. that in normal circumstances will have been said, or that they have always been performed by a human being. And that is what an AI is. And it's basically a computer software or a system that is performing the task that use a human cognition. And it's even smarter and faster. And there's different types of AIs. There's a machine learning, natural language processing, and computer vision. So I'm not gonna go deep on that and cover that in detail. I'll just mention it. If you need more support or stuff, just Google it, but that gives you a framework. But there's so many things we can use an AI, and I've tried to incorporate those so that you can really engage with me on this in the basic level. You guys know I like explaining things step by step in basic. So, because I think when we are going very basic, then there's no one who's left behind. So we use AI to basically help us it can assist us to assess our business challenges, identify also areas where we can the AI can add value. You can actually identify tasks and processes that can be automated or optimized or enhanced by the AI technology. And such can include customer service, data analysis, predictable model, even product recommendations. And I mean, the best answer that example I can make is that when you're buying a book on Amazon, you have a book and then you go and buy the book. And then it says people that bought this book also bought these books. That is using an AI because it's already giving you a product recommendation. In other stores, you will go in to buy a toothpaste, and then it's gonna show you a mouthwasher, and then it will show you a brush. So a complementary product. So we see that all the time. That is basically a robot behind that is selecting that information for you then to be able to buy. We are seeing quite a bit on this when it comes to identifying challenges and opportunities. I recently saw there's a new AI that has been done, which has been trained based on guys that like Mark Zuckerberg and all these guys in the high tech that have made billions. It says you can ask the questions this, and then you say, I want this to be Mark Zuckerberg's answer. What will be? So on your challenges. So it's almost like a trained AI, but it's trained from the information which is related to Mark Zuckerberg, for example. So, I mean, I think that is huge. I don't know how well the program is running, but yeah, that was, so I was even thinking maybe I should actually have my own coaching AI tool. So instead of me running these training sessions, let the robot run them. So yeah, those are some of the ideas. But also an AI, you gotta, to effectively apply the AI into your business, you're gonna need to have a very clear objective and then understand what cases you can use it for. So in our business, we have a strategy session that we had. We use the AI also though to assist us to do SWOT analysis, PESTEL frameworks, and we also use it to guide us to be more efficient in our operations. So even design documents, you can definitely use it. And that can reduce a lot of time and cost also. So you gotta need to be very clear what's your objective and what are the cases, because there are also trained AI into perspective. I think I have about 4 or 5. I will show you guys AIs that are trained that I use when I'm running. Okay, and I will show you those. Oh, yeah. Guys, can we have assist me to mute that person, Tsakane, please? Thank you. Okay, so where am I? Yeah, that's where I'm at. So you basically, the way it works is that you have to gather and prepare the data so that when you are then using the AI, it's effective, because the problem with the AI, garbage in, garbage out. So you gotta need to prepare a data, collect it, monitor it, or use the right case, and also make sure that the data that you have is high quality and you labeled it correctly. And when there's differences or diversification in it, you also keep that in mind, so that it enables the AI to learn and make an accurate decisions or guide to you. You also have to select the right AI. Not all of them are the same, guys. There's like more than 10,000 of them. Some are still really like badly crafted in terms of the programming. They have a problem with scalability. There's a data privacy. Some are not compatible, and there's a whole lot of issues. So choose the right technology and the right tools. And you then also have to understand that it has to be trained properly. And if it's a machine learning, like the ChatGPT, you have to tell it. You cannot just think it's gonna just give you the correct information. And that is why it's important to build and train your own for your business requirements. And I mean, there are pre-built AI models. You can leverage those. There's gonna be more of them now, because there's more people. Like I was saying, I'm thinking about having one, which is mine. That's gonna run my trainings. That's gonna run a whole lot of things I wanna do. So yeah. But then when you're implementing it, you just need to make sure that you integrate it with your business processes, but you also integrate it with your people. Yeah, so that there's the minimum human interaction with your staff. And also monitor the performance of it. So those are roughly the steps that I think you should monitor, and when you're incorporating the AI into your business, you can't just do things in random. Guys, running a business is systematic. So even adopting an AI is gonna need to be systematic. Ensure ethical and responsible use. At this point, this is still a blur line within the space, especially with infringement. And also sometimes it gives you wrong information. Then people just cut and paste. But also because it's designed by human beings, it's gonna have biases. Already there was an issue that when it gives you information when it comes to women, gender issues, because majority are designed by male. So there's just a whole lot of issues around that. But again, let's use it responsibly. And then step 2, foster the culture for AI adoption and learning in your organization. So make sure your team knows how to use it or where to use it, but also they are populating it correctly. So, and it's growing so fast, guys. This is not even 2 years old, but I think they have said there are now close to 1 billion of people that are now starting to use the AI every day. So yeah, it's huge. I just want to highlight there's a drawback with untrained AI. The quality of your questions determine the quality of your answers. I said this earlier, garbage in, garbage out. Therefore, you also just need to have some way provided with the input, but also you have to know the basics, because sometimes it gives you incorrect information. but I believe the sky is the limit of what you can do with AI. And I'm going to show you guys today of how we are using it in our business. Okay, so the product that will get you started, we have free products on the ChatGPT and a whole lot of product, and then the ones that will help you. So when I spoke earlier about the quality of the questions, garbage in, garbage out, is because you have to prompt provide it with a framework and prompt it the right way. So you have to put in the information, input it, and that is what they call it, a prompt. And by the way, there are people now who are prompt engineers. So I'm gonna give you the template for using the ChatGPT, and I'm also gonna share an ebook with you, which is called Impact of AI in Our Lives. I will also share Bard AI. Bard AI is actually a Google AI with a guide and its prompt. I will also share with you for free, all this will be free, for a detailed guide on other prompts using ChatGPT. I'm using ChatGPT because it's free. So yeah, but I have other AIs that I'm using that I've paid for. So I will show those. And I also included a YouTube account of a guy who's always got the most useful information on YouTube. So I will include that also. So on what we have put together for you guys, those who want to have a start and you are not sure, you want to try this prompt thing, you're still not clear, we are giving you 5,000 prompts for 50 Rand. And those who just want to say, Precious, just give it to me all, then in that case, we have 150,000 prompts, which is like a bundle for 300 Rand. And I'm gonna share one of them with you here now on how it looks like or what it is. And yeah, a prompt is basically a question that you ask the robot to do for you. Is the question, prompt is a question, okay? So let me share. Let me stop sharing this. Tsagane, if there's a question, please stop me so that I can, yeah.
We do have one question. Usis Paula asked, which business sectors are a must to adopt AI systems?
You can adopt AI systems in all industries. There is no industry that is not going to be affected by the AI. I spoke earlier about business administration, for example. Your ICT, your HR, your finance, all of this, you can use AI to build policies and procedures for you. You can use it for operation, and I'm gonna share with you here. So the prompt that I said to you, for people who are starting up, who are not sure, I created this 5,000 prompts for you guys. So what you have here is like 5,000 prompts, even to help you create ideas and inspiration. Content creation, generation, specific content, design advice, and I mean, the formatting, all of these are just prompt, specific target audience, the marketing, journals. This is actually quite, and workbook. This is actually for even publishers or authors or content creators that maybe you have lots of time, you are not making money. These are the things you can do. Activity books, and you can do activity books in your language, but using the framework. Planners, guys, there are people making millions on planners, ebooks, stickers. You can go to Etsy. There is just so much. Posters, logbook, trackbook, and then this is another one. It's the same, different things. So this is what the 5,000 chat startup for 50 Rand, because I can't give you guys everything for free. But anyway, there you go. So it gives you even the stuff all you do is just copy and paste. So let me make an example on how will this. Are you guys seeing my screen? I think you don't see my screen.
No, actually.
Oh no, you're not seeing my screen anymore.
You stopped sharing and then you said, wait, let me share. Yes. And then I think we interrupted you by when you said, give me the question.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm so sorry. I was reading this, guys. This is a 5,000 chat GTP prompts for those who just don't know, but want to have a feel on how it looks like. And I was sharing with you that we have even segmented it. It's got specific content. And all it is, you're just gonna copy the instruction and put it on the chat GTP. Please make sure though, when you're copying and pasting, you tell it to ignore the previous answers if the question that you are posting is new. Because if you post it treats it like a discussion, a conversation. So it's gonna take into account the previous answers, whereas maybe the previous answers are not relating to what you're asking now. So just be careful about that. And those who you can actually start a social media, digital marketing, social media promotion. You can also have specific research niches, especially on Etsy. I mentioned Etsy. So this is also, people are making money on printables on Etsy. And here you're gonna have even business templates. You can sell business templates, especially for people who are consultants and also people who are specialists, like an HR specialist. You can create the templates for HR and so on. Target market, specific target market, and also just for the codes. So let me just take one. Let's take one, and then I copy one. Gonna copy this one, which is talking about, let's choose a nice niche that I like also. Oh, let's take this one. I'm gonna copy this one, and then I'm gonna go to my chat GTP. And are you guys still seeing my screen on chat GTP or no? I think let me have a new share so that you guys can see my screen, because I don't think you can see my screen. Can you guys give me a feedback? Entrepreneurs, Sagani?
Yes, I can see your screen.
We still see your screen. Yeah.
I do see.
Okay, great. Okay, so I've just copied this, but now I need to share. Please mute that person, Sagani. Jesus. Oh, it's not allowing me to share this because we are also on YouTube. Okay, how am I gonna do this? Yeah. I'm gonna try again. Are you guys able to see my screen now? The chat, OpenAI.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So It's just taking a while to load, but it's gonna load just now. I think it's because let me see if I can use another Chrome. Let's try to see if I can use. It's rather slow today. Let's see. Okay. Okay. You can see my chart OpenAI, right? Okay. Let's do this. It's rather very slow. You see, that's the thing. When the network is, you're always gonna get, anyway, it's literally just copy and cut and paste. But now I can't copy and paste. There we go. New chart, I will make it a new chart. It's so slow. And guys, I work with this literally every 2 hours, even like every 30 minutes I'm using ChatGPT. So I don't understand why is it taking so long. Okay, so see here, I was doing this prompt. So I'm gonna click a new chart. I'm actually been using a free version. I'm not even using a paid version. And I'm gonna just paste that prompt that you put in there. And then, which says, I wanna sell baby milestone card printables on Etsy for monthly baby growth and first year achievement. And what are some of the specific niches and styles within the baby milestone card market that have a high demand? That's a question. And oh, there's definitely something wrong with my network. Give me a second. Okay, let's try again. It's quiet again. Oh, the network is so bad. Okay, it's thinking, there we go. So my ChatGPT has already been somehow, should I say trained or not necessarily trained, but the way I want my answers to be structured, I want them to actually be 5 W's and the H, use McKinsey 7 C's, S, and benchmarking and linking to SDG, because that's what we are. So what do I mean is that it's not going to give you the answers according to just making a list of this, because my robot has this information. Do you see in there that you can log out, and then there is settings, and then there's custom instructions? You need to train your AI to put stuff that is answer these questions, so that you can train your AI so that it gives you the answers that are relevant to you. This, guys, is the most important part about using a ChatGPT. You gotta need to tell it and set up a custom instruction. So in mine, as JD, I basically said, We're a management consultancy that support SMME in South Africa. We want to position ourselves, provide expert guidance, training, business content. I mean, we say we utilize AI, we create tools, templates. That's who we are. That's what we do. But we then said our mission is centralizing or looking into making sure the ESG, SDGs are actually into account. So whatever that we do is about making sure environment, social, and governance is right, and SDG goals. So, and we even told us we aiming to reach out 1 million entrepreneurs, and we want to sell 5,000 products for the next 365 days. We measure everything we do. So each time when we're using ChatGPT, it uses this format or these ideas, and we then added how would we like the ChatGPT to respond. We said we want short and long answers, and then we again told us how the long answers should be structured. And if you guys want to maybe try to have a look at this here, or you are not sure, try to answer these questions that are here that are says thought starters for your business, and then tick here and say enable on the new chart, right? You can switch this off. So let's just take the one that I just did, and I've just switched that off, and I'm pasting again that same baby milestone, and I've switched it off now so that it's not customized for GAD. And let's see then how is it going to work out. Let's see. What is not, let's see, I want it. There we go. So now it is giving me a different total answer altogether as compared to what it gave me earlier. Do you see the difference? But it's because I basically have just changed the instructions to the ChatGPT. And now it's providing me, it's still linking it though.
Good afternoon. We're just waiting a few more minutes. Entrepreneurs, please give us another, I think about 9 minutes. Okay. And in a meanwhile, introduce yourself and tell us and what would you like us to actually cover if you're not part of the people that voted for what we're going to cover today.
Okay, I have no idea what's happening now.
Great to see familiar faces. Hello, hello.
Guys, I think we're having a problem with YouTube. It's now playing back what we have done. We're gonna need to stop the YouTube hosting